Hi, it's been a while since I've done a video for several reasons. Most notably, I haven't had anything to say, anything that I thought was worth sharing. So as you can see, I'm wearing a helmet. I biked, and now I'm walking. I'm on my way to my French classes, which is actually what this video is about. But first thing to note is that I'm out and about, which I'm happy for, biking using Bixi bikes, and I've written about it on my blog years ago, and maybe I'll put a link to it. You can Google it also. But I was able to use my Bixi membership. I bought a subscription this summer, which was a really great deal. $90 for the full summer, which allows you to use a bike sharing service, and it takes me, gets me everywhere in the city that I would want to go or need to go. I'm on my way to French class tonight, and sorry, I have to keep changing hands because my arm gets tired. On my way to French class tonight, and there's not like a Bixi station right by the school, but pretty close, like a couple blocks away. So that's why I'm walking right now. But it's really nice to get out and use the Bixi service. It's really handy. I don't have to worry about locking a bike or bike maintenance or anything like that. It's just a really good fit for me right now. So I'm happy to be doing that tonight, to be out on the Bixi. And it's something I really love about living in the city, and I have to work hard right now at noticing those things and appreciating them, pointing them out to myself, to say, wow, this is like a really cool thing about living in the city that I enjoy. And so that's the first thing, that I'm out in the city enjoying myself. So I'm finishing this video the day after I started it. Yesterday was the first clip of me talking about being excited to take Bixi and take the Bixi bike to French class. And then I wanted to talk about French class, but not French class specifically so much as education and learning in this stage of my life. So I'm back here to finish that up. So I noticed an interesting thing in myself this spring, in the transition between my grad school classes ending for the term and French classes starting back up. They are starting back up for me, but I mean, I haven't been in them for over a year. So it's kind of a resuming, but it's more like a restarting of them. They got interrupted because of COVID. So when I started grad school this winter, I'm a part-time student. I work part-time, and I did not want to overschedule myself. I'm very cautious around that, especially after years of mothering and homeschooling and taking care of family, and having to really be careful about my outside commitments, because taking care of my people was the biggest priority, and I had to have the energy and time for that. And so when I was considering my workload for grad school, I definitely want to be a part-time student. I'm not full-time. I mean, I am I work part-time, so that's too much to do full-time studies. But in doing part-time, I can do one class a term or two classes. And this year, because of the pandemic and schooling was online, and I'm still supporting 3 young adults in a pandemic, and just there's an emotional burden and an emotional weight and responsibility I have around that. And so I was like, I'm just gonna play this easy, and not easy, but safe for myself, and do one class. this term because I wasn't sure what to expect. It's also new, a new thing for me going to school. So I did that, and the term was really good. I loved what I was learning, and it was all online. We met Zoom and all that. But I noticed, like, as I got near the end of the term, things were really slowing down, like in terms of my output that was required. I had large papers and presentations and projects. Those were where my main grade came from, and I just had one at the very end, and it was just kind of like, it just didn't require the amount of work that I thought it would near the end. And so as I wound down, like the beginning of April, it was like that was winding down, but there was nothing else to fill that space. And on one level, you like think that's going to be great, like you're gonna have time and you won't have the stress, and that's true. But then on the other level, it's also like I need to have something that I'm really sinking myself into, or sinking my teeth into, that I'm really investing myself in. And what I'm really investing in right now in this stage of my life is my education, and trying to get myself on a footing to have a career in education and in the flourishing and well-being of humans and families and society through the means and realm within education. So what I found over the last month is that there was like in addition to the pandemic, which is just like soul sucking, and we're still in lockdowns and curfews here, and we're not vaccinated like they are in the States. In addition to all that, there was kind of a sense of just a real denouement, I guess, in the end of my first term, and kind of like this, what am I doing with my life? And I know what I'm doing with my life. I'm in school, but when I'm not in school and I'm not putting time into that, and it's not occupying my mental space, then what am I up to? And so a couple things from that. I'm just setting the stage for you. It's a long setting the stage. Getting back into studies in this time is French studies is for me like an energizing prospect, because that is advancing something that I have a goal, that is a goal of mine, to become bilingual in conversational French. Maybe I would be able to work in French also. I don't know. Ideally, but I don't know. But just generally conversationally and talking with people and getting around society. Yes, that's what I want. So, and now that I'm in classes, I'm like doing 16 hours a week, a little less because it's on Zoom, but like 4 nights a week. It's a commitment for the next, I think, 10 to 12 weeks. It feels like a real, like, oh, I'm working on this thing. I'm making progress. And it gives me something to sink my teeth into. And the other thing is that, this past month, I have been looking at other people's lives and feeling like, where am I? What is happening with my life? Where am I making progress? What is my life about? What's my meaning and purpose right now? Other people seem to have they're fulfilling what they want to be fulfilling in their lives. Of course, a lot of this is filtered through social media, so I'm just gonna put that out there. So it's skewed. My perspective is skewed. However, that feeling was still there in me. Like I don't want my life to feel like it's a holding pattern, and that I'm always in transition and in between. And what I realized is like my purpose right now is education and schooling, and to apply myself that way, and to explore everything that I can within that realm, and to really grow myself in that direction. And that is not something that it's not like pretty pictures of beautiful home decorating or doing other things that are kind of like very that you can post on like social media and share and show like this thing that you accomplished. It's much more internal, because I'm not like out there publishing. I'm not publishing articles and stuff. I'm writing things for classes, right? So it's not like I have articles to point you to, and I don't know if I ever will. All that to say, one, I'm really happy to be in my French classes, to be moving forward on this goal of mine. And secondly is that I'm recognizing the importance of like filling my time and my energy, and where I'm directing my energy into the development of this side of myself, the academic side of myself, the education side. By education, I mean like education of me. And how important it is that those things are happening and consuming quite a bit of my energy in order for me to feel satisfied with my life right now, and also like I'm fulfilling the meaning and purpose in this particular life stage, and just doing the thing that I should be doing right now, and that I can have some, hopefully, like peace, joy, and I guess contentment in knowing that like, well, this is my job right now. This is the thing I'm doing. And I've got a lot of other things that like I want to do at some other points in my life, and things that I value and things that I enjoy, but like pursuing my education and really working at it and giving myself to it is an important priority. And so I'm considering, you know, when I'm going to start adding 2 courses per semester instead of 1, and not being how I will maybe overcome my fear of overcommitting myself, because that's a thing I have, the fear of overcommitting myself, and that I will be too stressed and too busy. And part of that is going to be just taking a risk and being like, let's try it and see what happens. So we'll see when that's going to happen. Right now I'm only interested in 1 course a semester, and my next course will be in July, and that's going to be an intensive, 3-week intensive. That's a different topic for another day. But anyways, those are just some thoughts about my education and my purpose right now at this stage, and how I really need to be like feeling like I'm grabbing hold of that and really invested in that in terms of time and energy for my overall well-being. And I've recognized that this past month in this kind of languishing in between, which I imagined at first might be restful, but wasn't so much. So, okay, that's really long. Thanks for watching, and have a good spring, or a good spring day, or whatever, until the next time I see you. And also happy Beltane, which is coming up this weekend for me here, May 1st. So happy May Day coming up, and take care.